Hi guys. So it's been a while since I've talked about the Pad Pals. In fact, last time I made a UL Gear Trade post to sell them or a video to talk about them was Batch 2, which was this unit on the left. And on the right here is the unit from Batch 4. And I'll be making a UL Gear Trade post today to sell the remainder of this batch. And so I thought I'd make a quick video to explain the differences between these two batches and what happened to Batch 3, because I never made a post for that one. And so basically, after I finished Batch 2 and sold them, I had quite a few people contact me through private message and whatever on Instagram and Reddit, asking to be notified when I finished units from Batch 3. Basically, by the time I finished Batch 3, I had enough people on that list that this batch was completely sold out. And so that's where all these units went. That's why there was never a post on Yellow Gear Trade to sell them, because they were secretly sold in the background. And then I finished Batch 4 a couple days ago and got the remainder of those people on that list, their units shipped out. And so now we're on Batch 4. I have about 45 of them left over, and I'll be making a post to sell those. And so I figured because there's been some changes, I'll make a quick video explaining what they are. Right off the bat, you'll notice it's a bit smaller. It takes up less pack volume. It's a little smaller diameter and a little bit shorter. But the main difference is they are now USB-C to USB-C cable compatible. So they now work with USB-C cables or USB-A cables. Either one, it doesn't matter. It works now, which is nice. A lot of people wanted that, and I'm happy I was able to change the board design and get that compatibility in there. The other large difference is they are lighter. Batch 2 was coming in at 11.5 grams. Batch 4 is coming in at 9.5 grams on average. There is a 0.2 gram variance, so you may get one that weighs like 9.7 to 8 grams, or you may get one that's like 9.2 to 3 grams. That's not right. What the heck? Oh, that was the wrong setting. that explains it. So yeah, this was 9.3 grams. Cool. I scared myself for a second there. But yeah, so they're lighter, USB-C cable compatibility, smaller, but that's pretty much the main differences. I almost forgot a big one. They're printed from a different material now. They're made from PA11, which is a type of nylon, and it's also printed using a different printing process. So the surface finish is much nicer. It's this matte, soft texture looking. It makes it feel like a much more premium thing than it actually is. Remember, these are just assembled by college students, so grain of salts and all. But yeah, these were the old ones. You could see the layer lines and little globs of plastic and stuff from the printing process. So these look a lot nicer now. And the main difference between that material change, though, is also the strength. So these were printed from polycarbonate, really strong material, but polycarbonate has a quirk where once it gets past a certain threshold of force, it will shatter, right? And that was, even though I never had an issue, I never heard of anyone having theirs breaking or anything, I knew it was a possibility, and just shattering it seemed like a failure point. And so I've changed to PA11, which is a type of nylon, and nylon is a lot more compliant. And so these are really compliant. You could do all sorts of things like force it inwards, and then it rebounds. You could squish it, and then it'll rebound to its original shape. And the thinking there is even though it's not as strong, it doesn't resist crushing forces as much, you could still crush it a lot, and then it rebounds to its shape. And so even though it's not as strong, it's more durable, if that makes sense, because it's more compliant. And so that was the main motivation behind going to nylon, was because I can make something that wouldn't break at all. If it does break from crushing, it's going to be this fan blade that's going to break, because it's a little ABS and it may bend and warp out of shape, or this will pop out, something like that. But you're not going to have any issues with that, really. I've yet to hear of anyone having issues with breaking theirs. And another thing to note is they are now coming with what I'm calling a motor replacement kit as well. So when you get one, you'll also get one of these, which is a motor replacement kit. Inside it, you get a spare motor, a spare fan blade, a little Q-tip, and some thermal paste. The Q-tip is for applying the thermal paste to the motor before inserting it into the motor bore, which is right here. And I'll make a video on how to do that because the process is now a little different because the housing design has changed. So I got to remake that video on how to change the motors in the field. But the kit weighs like 3.6, 3.7 grams, something like that. So if you were going on a long enough trip, anything basically over, I would say 100 nights or so, I would consider carrying this around. Or if you know you have more than so 3.6 grams for this little baggie. If you know you're going to be out for more than 100 nights, or you have roughly 100 or somewhere around 100 nights on this unit, on your unit, you're going to want to carry one of these just in case your motor fails on you. If not, you're just doing overnighters, you'll be fine bringing this. But yeah, that's the biggest changes. I don't think I forgot anything. Let's see. Talked about USB-C compatibility, shape. Yep, smaller size. Yeah, we talked about that. Motor housing. Yeah, I think that's all. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope that explained things, and hopefully I'll see you on the trail when I get out of school.